What's up guys, Marcel P here, coming at you today with my first ever YouTube video covering Clash Royale strategy. To introduce myself a little bit, I'm an avid Clash Royale player. I've played in a lot of tournaments. I'm not really one to toot my own horn and brag, so I'm going to go ahead and leave in the description some of the credentials and good tournament finishes I've had. Today, I wanted to start out with a simple video. I think in the future I'm going to want to cover some more advanced strategies and really dive into some nitty-gritty sort of mechanical tips that can help you guys. Today I want to keep it simple for my first video and cover the deck that I used to hit number 2, that's right, number 2 in the world last season on ladder. So here it is guys, the deck I used to get to number 2 in the world last season. It has two of the strongest and arguably overpowered cards in the game, Elite Barbarians and Graveyard, as the main two cards. They both require your opponent to respond really quickly to either one. You can use them either together or in separate rotations, and I'll show a couple of replays of that in a little bit here. The rest of the deck rounds up with Tombstone, which is a great defensive card and adds a little bit of zap bait interaction with the Tombstone versus the Graveyard, where your opponent has to use a spell on one or the other. You have Ice Golem, one of the best all-around cards in the game, and it pairs up really well with a quick way of punishing your opponent when they don't have a Graveyard counter in hand. Archers is another well-rounded card, gives the deck a nice opening play, a nice neutral play, which this deck doesn't have much of. It also gives you a nice Graveyard counter, and Mega Minion is one of the best units as well. Just well-rounded, defends all sorts of things. And Zap and Fireball are easily the two best spells to pair up with the Graveyard. Your Zap is a quick reaction to Skarmies. Skarmies being Skeleton Army, Goblins, Spear Goblins. You have Fireball for your minions, Minion Horde, Barbarians. So here's a screenshot of the last 3 games I played last season, so you get an idea of the types of players and decks I was facing. To end up number 2 overall, I beat some players from Nova, Arab Union, and Indian Union to end the season. So the next thing I want to do to review the deck and give you guys some tips here is a little different compared to what other videos I've seen that review decks. I want to show you guys exactly how you want to play up against different decks. I'm going to show you a certain deck type, say Lava Hound, and we'll see how this deck might beat that archetype. I'll show you just a short clip from playing Lava Hound, for example, what you want to do when they play Lava Hound at the back, and I'll do the same for Elixir Collector, for your Golem and Giant decks. I'll do the same for a Hog deck, Royal Giant, and a few others. So stay tuned. So let's start out with everyone's favorite Royal Giant. Best way to beat it is usually to defend with Elite Barbarians and really force a counter push on this, where you might have supporting units behind and then cast the Graveyard as your Elite Barbarians come down and really convert this into a lot of tower damage. Next up we have the Lava Hound. The best way to deal with them is try and punish your opponent when they spend the 7 elixir on the Lava Hound by playing Elite Barbarians on the other lane, making sure you have Zap in hand to deal with the Skeleton Army and Tombstone. You then want to defend with a Mega Minion, possibly a Fireball to take care of Lava Hound and Balloon, and expect a lot of damage done by your Elite Barbarians. Against heavy decks that run Elixir Collector, you want to make sure to maintain the pressure every time they put up a Collector. You place the Ice Golem at the bridge, go for a Graveyard push on the side with a Collector, try and take down as much Collector health as you can, in addition to some tower damage, possibly a Fireball on some defending troops and the Collector. Against the common Zap Bait decks found in the meta today, the card you want to look out for is Mirror. As soon as your opponent gives up the Mirror on a Furnace or a Goblin Barrel, it's time to go aggressive. The reason being, if they have the Mirror, they can always mirror their Skarmy against your Graveyard. But if they don't have Mirror, you can use your Zap on the Skeleton Army, you can use your Fireball on the Minion Horde, and really convert a ton of damage with the Graveyard push. You want to make sure you're not using your zap for the goblin barrels as well, so you have it for the skeleton army. The last deck I'll cover before we get into some full game reviews is Hog Rider. You usually want to line up your elite barbarians so you can play them against your opponent's Hog Rider, and then really capitalize on a counter push with them using the graveyard, capitalizing on the fact that your opponent's going to be pretty low on elixir after investing into the hog push. So the last thing I want to do is cover some full game reviews and try and see what we want to be thinking about as we play this deck versus Lava Hound here right now and another one coming up. So right here my opponent gives me a really good value fireball. I go ahead and take it. I know he doesn't have minions in hand, and so I have nothing to play. I just split elite barbarians, and because I know he doesn't have his minions, I go for a graveyard push right here, and it does a lot of damage before he's then finally able to cycle back to his minions. Right here he plays an ambitious balloon, which we're able to defend quite easily with the archers and tombstone. Again, he played the minions right there, right? And so we know he doesn't have it in hand or anytime soon, so I can easily go for a graveyard push. And he's forced to use skeleton army, which is his counter for elite barbs. So we're sort of tossing him into this pretty vicious cycle, or now he uses the minions again, and so we're able to punish him, I believe, with a graveyard right here. He uses tombstone and skeleton army, meaning he doesn't have them now for the elite barbarians. Now he has to defend elite barbarians with minions, so again we're able to throw another graveyard here coming up real soon. So you can see the interaction between the double pressure cards in elite barbarians and graveyard. Once you throw them off cycle, it'll be really tough for them to break it. So to close things out here, I wanted to do a ladder match at max level cards against Sunlight from Nova Brazil. To start out, we don't have a great opening play. We unfortunately get Mega Minion into a Musketeer. My Mega Minion would get 0 value right there, and so I go for a negative trade, but it forces him to zap instead of just doing nothing and the Musketeer would kill my Mega Minion. Right here, I actually went for it after seeing his Ice Golem. Ice Golem is one of the best responses to elite barbarians. He uses it in the back. I try and punish, and we get a little lucky. He plays the collector right as we drop the elite barbarians, and that results in a tower. He was cycling his Ice Golem to get to elixir collector quite ambitiously, and right here again I punish because I see he drops another Ice Golem in the back. So you really want to make sure you're punishing your opponents when they make sort of not really well-informed plays, just dropping these Ice Golems in the back here. When with my deck, those plays are pretty easily countered with Graveyard and Elite Barbarians. So right here we get to see the Elite Barbarians really shine on defense against your tanks like a Giant and Golem. Right here, the Elite Barbarians are really shredding through not only the Giant, but even more troops as they make their way past the Giant and onto the other side. Good game to Sunlight. So that's all I've got for today, guys. I'll go ahead and leave the deck up here for you guys to see. I'd love to get some feedback with this being my first video. Go ahead and leave in the comments what you guys thought. I'll be happy to respond as much as I can. I'm looking forward to trying to make more videos. I'd love to try and dive into a lot more sort of mechanical plays, really sort of extract out some important clips of gameplays and really narrow in on things that you guys might like. I wanted to start out today with a simple video. Hopefully you guys are able to take away a good amount from it, with this being the deck that got me to number 2 last season. Alright guys, I'll catch you later.